That is a good topic. I realized that lot of challenges, when it happens in our life, we feel as if it is why it is happening to me. I have learnt a lot, but still it is not working. And sometimes we feel, okay, oh, blessing is there. Blessing is always there.
But am I, as I understand, sometimes the guru can see the vasana in you and tell you that this vasana can be realized.
Yes and no, both. You see that karma are of three types. First action that we do ourselves. I do it by myself. Some other karma we got it done by others. Like your employees. You say, no, do this, do this, do this. Third karma that we support. We support a particular action. Results of all the three types of karma come to us. And that result is known as papa and punya. Sin and virtue, good and bad, favorable and unfavorable circumstances causes pain and pleasure, or happiness and joy. So when I do my karma with the purity of the mind, especially the sadhana, the blessing reaches instantly. First few years, I said, my master is crazy. He does not understand what I want to say. Well, I must confess my mistakes. I realized it. No, you do not understand, Why don't you bless me? My master used to say, the blessing is a product that you can find in the store. What the hell you don't know? It is my will. Whenever I want to bless you, I will bless you. No, I need the blessing now. So I was keeping my ego strong. So I was fighting with him. No, I will not bless you. That is my choice. I said, this is too much. I'm doing everything. I'm massaging his feet and I'm doing all the services. And still, it took me many years to understand karma. So I was accumulating the impressions because of my ego. I was questioning him. And I was doing the karma to seek the blessing, but that was with the wrong attitude. The false notion, the wrong knowledge. So I have to accumulate the papa also. So in those days when I know no, master is not blessing me, I don't know. He always blesses rich people. No, I only offer 5 rupees. But later on I realized it is because of my ego. I am not understanding what he is saying. And it took me almost, I would say, 5, 6 or 7 years when this head mind was totally purified. And I said, he is always blessing. So what happens in that blessing, in that karma? That is also a karma. You go, you sit in any temple or a church, and mind is pure, and you invite into the heart. So the mind reaches to a saturation point. Now mind has to do nothing, it has to ask nothing, and the blessing pours down. That is why we are understanding this business of karma. If the karma is not done properly, so what happens? I'm accumulating lot of impressions every day in my life. I'm doing meditation for 1 hour. I'm listening to the talk for an hour. So compare 2 hours with 22 hours. So we have to, that is why we said karma, first karma is I do it myself. I do it myself for myself. You see, I need a knowledge. That is why I stressed in the previous lessons that the knowledge, jnana yoga inside, karma yoga outside. Otherwise, we will continue to accumulate these impressions of papa and punya. So we will progress into, we will feel as if the meditation has gone too high. My life has gone too low because of karma. Sometime, my friend, we have some hesitation. That hesitation is also a very subtle ego. How can I treat like this to my honey or my daughter or my mother or my known friends? No. Drop that hesitation. Live in karma yoga, not in karma. Karma will accumulate all the impressions. Karma yoga will relieve you. I can see. Why I can see? Because I also lived the same life. That is how I passed through the same kind of life. So our masters are not saying what karma you should do. We are only saying how to do that karma. And how to do that karma with the knowledge in the mind. So knowledge in the mind, the source of the knowledge is by thinking. You meet your honey. Now the knowledge becomes active. Okay, honey, now I'm going to play my role as a husband. You are saying inside. If you say it outside, you will end up with a fight. Oh, so you always play a trick with me. They will misunderstand. They will misunderstand. You see, just with the employee, I am going to play a role of my boss. I will play a role of enjoyer I will play the role of my father, as a son. So you are converting every karma into karma yoga. Many people do not understand this process, this secret process. You are simply thinking in your mind. So what is happening? Because if you are not thinking, that is the work of the intellect, the mind will return and it will take its default action. Mind bluffs me, intellect makes a choice. Mind bluffs me, mind tricks me. Mind says, oh, my honey did that thing to me yesterday. She disrespected. I will teach her a lesson. Now here the role of the intellect comes. So people simply say karma yoga is just no worries. Give some charity, do some service, go to the church. do spoon feeding to Jesus or any Krishna, and it is karma yoga. No. Where karma is, karma yoga is there. Where karma is 24/7. 24/7. I had a shyness, I'm playing my role as a teacher means I'm performing my role as a teacher, as a guide, as a mentor. So that keeps my ego aside. I'm ready to listen to you. I'm ready to accept you without any reservation. I have to perform my role. Do you see that? So that changes your mind completely. You are always at ease, you're always relaxed. But if the mind takes over, my daughter, you should do this and you should not do this. Honey, you should do this, you should not do. So I keep them on their toes. When I come, I am the boss. I will prove I am the boss. That ego causes lot of trouble. And then karma remains karma, punya and papa. Punya and papa, okay, you have said to your honey couple of times, now honey is always scared. Whenever you go, do you want tea? Yes, I want tea. So she gives the tea. So then she says, how are you? There is no love, there is no emotion. You might have experienced. I know that. So I have to change that pattern completely. In the beginning, it is very tough. Why it is tough? So then the people near and the dear ones will find out, now he has become weaker. Let them say, you continue to perform your role. Let the time come. Because they have to blast. We have been dictating for so long. So it is their karma, they have to blast. They are not learning yoga. They are not doing sadhana. So they have to blast. So let them blast. That is another way to do the sadhana, endurance, titiksha. You have a power of endurance. So what you're crushing that ego by karma yoga through the knowledge inside and performing your rollouts. Sometime we will make a mistake, but ultimately the time comes when we are committed to this. You will find, my friend, you will find that you are flying into there. You have no karma at all, and you have all the karma that you have to do. You will find that moment the blessings descends. Blessing is always there. Blessing is. We have to keep this crazy mind aside and the ego aside. You see that in the world we have already understood that answer clearly. That some people blame that, I did not do any crime and I was sent to the jail. Previous karma. We have a clear answer. It is because of the previous karma. Not you are getting the results of your previous karma. Outer environment created a trigger, created an event. That is all. Nothing more than that, nothing less than that. Understand that part clearly. So as a sadhaka, as a seeker, when I understand that part, then what happens? Unfavorable circumstances, I have to make it favorable by good karma. Pain, I have to convert that into happiness. Problem, I have to find a solution by doing a good karma. So every time karma becomes karma yoga. It's a very deeper understanding, but it does not go inside our head because of many factors. Because of many factors. I'm already supporting you, honey. Why the hell you disrespect me? So what it has to do with the money and respect? How they are related? They are not at all related. I used to say, then I realized that my master said, who the hell you are? You claim that you are earning money? If the money is not there in the world, how can you earn the money? If the Prakriti is not favoring you, how you can earn the money? I have given you a couple of ideas to earn the money. If you cannot do this, how can you earn the money? Have you seen the role of you earning a money? What is your role? Your role is 0%. You claim that you are the doer, you are the enjoyer, but you are not. Do you live into that state that you are not the doer and the enjoyer? That karma becomes karma yoga. And then what is very important, again, pick up the understanding. I'm revisiting these, the third chapter of Gita in a different way. Any thought comes into the mind, let it come, entertain them. But intellect should ask the question that what is most important, the real self and the truth is most important. Finished. Ah, no, I have a feeling of jealousy. Thank you very much, my mind, but the real self is most important to me. You start thinking in that way. And my friend, when you start thinking in that way, the mind do not trigger the past impression. You give a break. The stress, jealousy, hatred, pain enters from the back door. And peace, happiness, control comes from the front door. What is the front door? Is the intellect. I have to make a choice. I have to rethink. Mind says, I am jealous of you. Intellect thinks what you have to do having a jealousy. You see the same thing. You made a cuffing that is coming from the mind. Intellect realized it. Oh, it's okay. Take it. Easy. Scratching, mind. See that? The mind bluffs, tricks, imagines to make us believe that it is this mind which makes me live, but it is not a fact. We live in false notion. You see again the script. No, do it. Scratching, it is mind. Because it is impulsive, it is habitual. Because if I do not introduce the intellect inside before I perform an action, nothing will happen. And this is a preparatory step. It will not purify the mind. It will constantly disturb the meditation. That is why we say, in the path of Jnana Yoga, all the karma is done to purify the mind, and upasana, bhakti, mantra, japa helps us to focus the mind. And now, purified mind, focused mind is ready for the journey, deeper journey, higher journey of awakening. See that. Karma, karma, karma yoga. Now see that another way to pick up, and so that I know that you will raise your awareness. Every day before I go to sleep, I look at my calendar. Okay, I have these number of sessions, and then I ask the intellect what I have to guide. So I just keep in the mind. So I don't allow the mind to take over. Taris, then I have to give this lesson in a little higher way. Oh, this is, he had just come, so I have to, no, I think in the intellect. So what happens? That keeps my ego aside, that I know too much. So if I give one student who has just joined me the higher principles of the karma yoga, now they will say, no, he is bluffing, it's better to leave this guy. He doesn't know. Because people are totally obsessed with sex, authority, and money. Uncle Sam. As sex and authority, because the money, beauty, physical beauty. Money, physical beauty, idea of number one, becoming number one, is totally in the hands of the mind, which is impulsive, which makes me selfish too much, which makes me self-centered. And that self-centered builds the ego in the mind, and then my ego constantly works. Karma, yoga, and again yoga. So what happens that you wake up in the morning, the mind is always ready to pass on the information through the sensation or a thought or through the habit what you need to do today. Why not bring in the intellect? You do it this week, every day, and you will see the difference. Wake up in the morning, mentally I do namaste to the earth, Mother Earth, you are holding me, thank you. Oh, I'm able to breathe because of the air, I'm able to move my hands and body because of the space. Oh, I see now the sun. Thank you, sun. Without you, I cannot exist. So what is happening? You see what is happening inside. That very subtle ego that is keeping hold is breaking up. When everyone outside is responsible, then where I am? You start thinking in that, thank you, my honey, you became angry yesterday and that helped me to live in endurance and patience with you. But I reacted. So that is also a part of the learning. Okay, I reacted. I promise myself that I will not react. Again, understand, karma yoga, every thought becomes karma, every karma becomes thought, cycle, impression. Thought at the subconscious, unconscious, habitual, instinctive level converts into action. Thought at the intellectual level converts into a business. So there again you are carried away by the mind, the business fails. Because mind has no role in business, it is the intellect. It must have a planning, organization, execution, working, etc. So you see a lot of people say, I'm very good in my business, but I'm worst in my family because of this. Many people say me. I can understand. Bill Gates, look at. I remember him. No, why, So this is another simple principle that I discussed, but I did not talk about the specific word. So mind our life has two movement. One is known as pravritti. Pravritti is tendency of moving outward all the time, carried by the sense organs, by the mind. If the intellect is not sitting over the mind, then the mind takes the sense organs everywhere. And then it picks up the past impressions. Then it picks up all the kinds of the pleasure. So it is building up all the thoughts and the actions to strengthen my ego as the doer and the enjoyer. This is known as tendency of the mind moving outward. Pravrti and nivrati. So nivrati, we say tendency of the mind moving inward. It can only happen by intellect. I have to rethink every event, which is habitual, instinctive. So the moment you ask the intellect to think, the mind starts moving inward, and then the intellect introduces the path of the Shreyas. Now understand this. Path of the Shreyas comes by these steps. We understand what is right and good. So mind even tricks us. I have done good to you, why you are not doing? No. Right and good belongs to the intellect because it continues to show the path. Mind simply makes a statement, I have done good to you. Intellect says, Shreya says, what is right and good? I must stick to that. So what happens when you start thinking that way before doing any action? I think I talked about that before, during, and after. Before action, during action, after action. Check. Is the mind in peace? The intellect is already sitting over the mind. In any relationship, in business, in acting, in driving. So when it is in driving, so then you will not have a rash driving. Before, during, and after eating, the intellect keeps the check. Then intellect will also find out what you like, what is pleasant. Oh, today I did not have it. Can I eat it? Intellect says yes, because the food is right and good to keep my body alive. That will drop your attachment. So our master says that by thinking, by rightful thinking, now see the pravrti and nivrati first. Now the mind has already a tendency to move continuously outward. And I am doing an action. The mind jumps from one thought to the other. I mess up what I am doing now. That causes the anger and reaction. My mind is thinking somewhere else. Or my mind is obsessed with what happened 5 years ago. It has already created an unfavorable impression in my mind. Now I am talking to the honey and I get into that position. So the master says that now understand, every thought converts into karma. You get the instant result or you not get the result. Melinda decided, instant result. Now I cannot live with this guy. Instant result. But for Bill, it took 27 years. So it means he was constantly suffering. That's why he blamed that I'm suffering for 27 years. Who created this? It is only thinking. It is only the thought. Thought converted into an action. Loveless life. It is the thought in the mind. When he saw Melinda, he said loveless life. It created impression. Who is responsible? You are. You are responsible. So what we do, what we say that we prepare karma yoga by pravritti and nivritti. Preparation, we prepare for a life of shreyas by karma. We prepare sadhana, or we prepare the journey of the sadhana by shreyas or prayers, thinking in the intellect. Now ask yourself, what is the preparation? You see, I'm going logically. You are an engineer, so I always go logically with you. So what is that preparation? Bhai, I have to do my action perfectly. I have to focus on the work, whatever I'm doing. So that demands lot of preparation. What is that preparation? I have to prepare in my head. I have to do the right thinking. So that right thought will be converted into right action. Without preparation, you have no shreyas. Now see that. I'm just putting a seed in your mind. Without preparation, you cannot treat the path of shreyas. That preparation takes place in the head. That preparation takes place in the head. Take another example, simple. I think I gave that example. You want to go to a restaurant to eat pasta. How many factors are there? Responsible. I have to drive the car. I should have the money. I should be in a right mood. I should have a blank chair in the table in the restaurant. That the waiter should take the order rightly. He should or she should understand it. He or she should serve the food. And I should be in a right mood. I should be eating that food. How many factors are responsible? Today I am going to the honey. I will guide her or him, but he or she is not ready to listen. Many factors. Many factors. So, leaving all the factors, we say that, am I okay? Am I okay? Through the thought, I have created a shreyas in the head so that those thoughts will be converted into an action, and that action will purify the mind. Krishna says that when we perform the action with shreyas, it makes you the noble inside. Nobility and the purity of the mind and the intellect. You are performing an action, thinking inside with the nobility and the purity. The karma now has become karma yoga. Now, because why it has become? Because I am connected to the entire Prakriti and the world outside and the real self inside. That is the path of the Shreyas. First step is definitely, I have been stressing that I have to rethink my whole day. Rethink whole day. Every activity. So then the intellect will take over the mind. Gradually what happens? The mind will be gone. It has nothing to think about instinctively. That is what Krishna says, empty the mind. But our mind says, it is never empty. Did the teacher say that mind is never empty? No. What is the problem? Because the mind is constantly putting these thoughts in me. From the past, favorable or unfavorable, I have to introduce the intellect only. Restart thinking. Reset button with every action. Now see what happens. that now from tomorrow you think for every action that you have been doing, even habitually, you will totally have a different perception. You will see the world in totally in a fresh and a new way, not attached, not worried, not carried away by anxiety, ego, and reaction. You see the world as it is. What happens? I can tell you the blessing. Yesterday's, in everything that I see, the blessings of my master comes to me. My lease expired of the car, so I had to have another lease of new car. I never thought of it. Normally, in the previous 3 years ago, I used to go to the dealer. They said, no, I can trade in your car and I will give you another car on lease and here is the payment. So I used to negotiate with and they used to agree. People normally pay $500 a month and I paid for this car it was only $290 a month. But last week it clicked to my mind that how it happens. I do it, I force it, I kept my budget and it has materialized. So the current car, I find out appraisal value of the car. So appraisal value means if the company wants to sell the car to me, it was $20,000. And it just came to me, then what is the market value? Market value was $28,000. So I have an equity for $8,000. Now I became confident. Now I will go to the dealer and I will say, okay, appraise my car. Tell me what is the value. So one dealer says it is 23. I said, okay, here is the paper. Do you see that? It is 28. What is your calculation and what is this calculation? So there is a KBB, it's a huge website. They give, and their evaluation is believed by everyone. So America has created some system. They gave me $8,000 for the new car. And I brought down the payment to $310. So I can see 2018 and a 2021. $30, it's okay. And one of my students got the same car. He is paying $650 a month. So I consider this as a blessing. Because the intellect shows you the path. Because every time the intellect is in service, your honey is angry with you, reacting to you, the intellect must show the path. That thought converts into karma yoga. Now it does not remain as a karma. We are going little deeper and subtler so that you help your mind by this way. Normally, when you live a luxurious life, Taurus, then people say, okay, I know what is karma yoga. No, you have to go a little deeper so that you must succeed in it. So when you succeed in this, so you have to understand this. Are you ready for this? Can I become aware the thought converts into karma? So I have to invite the thoughts from the intellect that should convert karma into karma yoga. Any thought coming from the mind will never be converted into karma yoga. Any thought, habitual. Everything is okay. I'm taking. Couple of years back, tea. So I started thinking, okay, now tea is gone. Now coffee is gone. Water, which is essential. You cannot say that I'm habitual of water. But it does not mean now I find, resources is there, so after the session I will take a cup of tea or coffee. Another point that you can pick up. I know you will pick up, but you have to live into that. There is a world outside. World of people, places, objects, things, money, banks, etc., business. Yeah, the world outside. First point. Mind experiences this world inside. You experience me in your mind inside. I'm outside. Two things. World outside, experiences inside.
Yeah.
Become aware of the third. Who the hell experiencer is? Of the world outside, experiences inside. Is it mind? The ego is there. Intellect, you are breaking the shell of ego. See that? Mind. Oh, look at this Taurus, he's a crazy guy. The mind is saying, Taurus outside, experience inside. Intellect takes over. Come on, what the hell you are talking? The world is outside, it cannot touch me. And the Taurus lives because of the blessings by the God, blessings by the existence. Who the hell I am to say anything to him? I, mind and ego, intellect, you are breaking the shell. Ego is selfish, Ego will accept that you are crazy. I'll give you a name. Yes. You are wrong. So it is the mind. Mind is playing a game of blame, complaint, reaction, fighting, etc., long list. Intellect will not. Intellect will say what is the best, Now see, go back to the three things. First point is to become aware of these three. Well, there are only three things. The world is outside. So whatever I experience, I am depressed, I want to react, I want to fight, I want to say nasty thing, I want to say good. Experiences. Mind brings the experiences inside of the things outside. We need not to worry about these two in the beginning. We say, who is the experiencer, who is the knower? That is the third level. That is the third point. You are listening to me, you see me inside the mind, but who is this you? I am outside, mind is listening inside, but who is the listener? Is it the mind? It will accept everything habitually. If it is the intellect, then it is aware. It breaks the shell of the ego by itself. You need not to worry. We will go to that question later, that when I say the intellect breaks the shell of the ego, the subtler ego breaks the shell of a physical ego. It is also the ego. But now this is a ripe ego, not the unripe ego. So at least unripe ego will cause lot of sanskaras and papas. So by the subtle ego, I am earning punya, I am earning virtues, I am earning good karma. So once we start living at that level, this world will not cause any problem to you. you will not be concerned about anything outside. Even you will feel that you are homeless, jobless, and knowledgeless. You are using everything, all the resources you have. You are living your life as it is, but the quality of life undergoes a change. Because it keeps your mind in the state of purification. Now see from the other point of view, only the three things. World outside, experiences inside, I am living my life. This is what I say life. What is the reference point of my living? Is it real self or my crazy mind? So, but I don't know real self. Question comes, so let me intellect. Intellect is there to think about it. Let me do this work with reference to the real self. I am helping you, my honey, because of real self. But if I do not allow this mind, so what is the reference point of living? My mind contains sensuality. My mind contains pleasure. My mind contains likes and dislikes. My mind wants more. Intellect says you are happy here and now. Intellect says, do you have money in the bank account? Yes. Can you live your life for months and years? Yes. Okay. So it does not mean that we are not going to earn more money. But that idea of a more while performing the karma is not there. So karma converts into karma yoga. Go back again, the world outside, experiences inside. World outside, $127 billion. Experience inside, emptiness and hollowness. What kind of a life I am living? What is the reference point? Reference point is my mind and ego. Come on, I have everything of this world except one Melinda. What difference it makes? Now you see, it is the intellect has to think. What difference it makes? Come on, Melinda. I feel like this. You please help me remove these ideas, because she is also extremely intelligent. She is very intelligent. I have heard her interviews. So mind blocks the right appreciation of the people outside. Intellect appreciates it. So when the intellect appreciates it, you see, go back again there. I see the image of my master. Where I see that image, it is outside. I see it in my mind. But now the intellect says that this guy, this picture is the image of my master. I learnt everything. He transformed my life. Intellect says he transformed my life. So what will happen? My pure emotion. Yes. 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 So this knowledge from the heart, knowledge from the head, moves down to the heart. When we have a right knowledge. If the mind lives with a wrong and false notion, it will not happen. Then it will create anger, anxiety, duality, mentally upset. I have anxiety all the time. Do you see that? Clear. Clarity of picture is there. Only three things. Object is outside. Experience inside, what is the reference point of my living? Is it the unripe ego that includes mind, or is it the ripe ego, which is the intellect? So what happened this last time when I went to India, there is a Swami Sharadanand who was also equivalent to my master, who was also a great master. So before all the students, I prostrated him couple of times. And everyone was upset. My students. I said, did our master not teach that you have to see the master, me in all the other masters? So I'm seeing my master in him. His name is different. His expression is different, but definitely he is a great master. So whom it helped, he has nothing to worry, It helped me. It helped me. And by setting an example, it helped other students. What is the reference point of my living? Mind, unripe ego, intellect, ripe ego, and Shreyas. We don't know real self. No worries. Let me start living with reference to the real self. I have some information about real self? Yes, I have it. You will see your outer perception changes completely. Mind does not want us to know the real self, because it will be the death of the mind. Can I remember this and use the intellect to bypass the mind? Because we have to use the mind after all. We have to use the mind, seeing the physical. So it is not the karma yoga done physically. Karma yoga is done intellectually, keeping the higher vision in the mind. It is only the intellect used by the Buddha. Dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. So when he says dukkham, 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 he says the word outside. Dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. Pay attention. The entire journey of the self-discovery comes to an end. That's how I understand. So when he says dukkham, 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 it does not mean that I am very full of sorrow. No, recognize the word is dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. Now it goes inside, experience inside. Right? Experience inside, that is what I explained you just now. You sit and you repeat these 5 words and you see you are totally absorbed into meditation. Dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. Experience inside. Intellect takes over. What is my experience? Anityam, anityam, anityam. Impermanent, impermanent, impermanent. Whatever the experiences enters into my mind of the world outside, it is impermanent, temporary. Temporary. How long a thought lasts in you? Tell me. Which thought is continuing since your birth? Anityam, anityam, anityam. Buddha goes little subtler. Now he is attacking the ego through the intellect. It is not only impermanent, but it is it is momentary. It is like, one moment here that has become past. That is the moment. This world is like momentary. Why you believe this word? So he used the word chanikam. Chanikam means, momentary. The way I lived in the yesterday is gone, done, finished. Chanikam. So then Buddha says, once you understand these four, what is the result? Shunyam. Emptiness. And that reveals the nature of your reality. Dukkham. So I'm not taking that as it is my dukkham. I see the world is full of sorrow and suffering. And that goes inside. Anityam, impermanent. Even you start saying through the intellect today, couple of times. The mind will object. Bring the intellect and see why it is impermanent. Why it is so momentary. You understand momentary, moment, gone. I see I lived 80 years. Come on, you did not live 80 years. It's a one moment. The next moment, if I close both the nostrils and the mouth, you are gone. Moment. So many breaths together, you claim that you are 40 years old or you are 30 years old. You see, even listening makes you so happy. When you are into the practice, what it will happen? Chanikam. So now I see chanikam. One day mentally you start thinking, you look at honey, chanikam. Mom, chanikam. Money, chanikam. Business, chanikam. See that? See, just with eyes open, you see, okay, everything is chanikam. Then what is left? What is left is shunyam. Shunyam is mind is pure. The knowledge of the reality will reveal. Knowledge of the reality will be revealed. So I may be feeling that, don't feel, but I see that it's better to start little more deeper into